There's a power generator that has existed directly beneath our feet for centuries, without a solar panel, without a turbine, without a power outlet. And the crazy part is this: most people walk across it every single day without realizing that the ground itself can be electrically active, because moist soil, rotting wood, microorganisms, and two simple pieces of metal are already enough to generate measurable electrical voltage. This is not science fiction. And it is not some new experiment from Silicon Valley either. The foundations of this were already documented in the 19th century. Some researchers used it to power clocks, others experimented with lamps. And today, scientists are rediscovering these same principles through so-called microbial fuel cells. And yet, almost nobody talks about it. So stay with me, because today I'm going to show you how rotting wood can actually generate electrons, why charcoal makes soil more electrically conductive, how simple pieces of copper and zinc can create voltage in the ground, and how you can build your own earth battery. This idea may be much bigger than it first sounds, because what's happening here is not simply gardening. It's electrochemistry, biology, and perhaps one of the most underrated forms of natural energy ever discovered. And the fascinating part is this: you've probably seen parts of this system your entire life. You just never connected them. A rotten tree trunk in the forest that still stays moist inside, even after weeks without rain, dark, incredibly fertile soil, corroding metal buried in the ground. All of these things seem completely ordinary, until you understand what is actually happening. The story begins with wood, more specifically, with rotting wood beneath the soil. In Germany and Eastern Europe, farmers buried tree trunks beneath their garden beds for centuries. Today, this method is called Hugelkultur. From the outside, it looks completely unremarkable. A few logs, some soil on top. That's it. But beneath the surface, something remarkable happens. The wood begins absorbing water like a gigantic sponge. A single log can store several times its own weight in moisture. And that is exactly why these garden beds often perform surprisingly well, even during dry periods, completely without additional irrigation. But water is only the beginning, because once the wood becomes moist, the real system begins to work. Fungi spread through the wood, bacteria colonize it. Microorganisms slowly break down the organic structure from the inside. And now it gets really exciting. Certain bacteria release electrons during this decomposition process. In other words, electrical charge. The science behind this is now well documented. Researchers today are developing so-called microbial fuel cells that use exactly this effect. Microorganisms can actually generate electrical current while breaking down organic material. That means a rotting tree trunk is not just biomass, it is also a biological reactor, a slow-working natural battery. And here comes the part almost nobody talks about. Forests have been doing this for millions of years. Electrical processes are constantly happening throughout the soil. Microbes transport electrons. Minerals react with one another. Moisture connects the entire system. The soil beneath your feet is not dead. It is electrochemically active. And this is exactly where the second component comes into play: charcoal. Thousands of years ago, indigenous cultures in the Amazon developed a soil that still fascinates scientists today: terra preta, a black earth that remains extraordinarily fertile even after centuries. And the crucial ingredient was not ash, it was biochar. And what's weird about it is this: on the outside, charcoal looks completely lifeless, but under a microscope, it resembles a gigantic skyscraper for microorganisms. Billions of tiny pores, tunnels, chambers, surfaces. A single gram of biochar can contain an internal surface area larger than an entire room, and this structure dramatically changes the soil. It stores water, it binds nutrients, it protects microorganisms. But it also does something else, something most people would never associate with charcoal. It improves the electrical conductivity of the soil, and suddenly everything begins connecting together. The microorganisms in the rotting wood generate electrical activity. The moist soil transports ions, and the charcoal further improves charge transport. Now, only one final component is missing: metal. And this is where the story becomes almost absurd. In 1841, a Scottish inventor discovered that two different metals placed in moist soil could generate electrical voltage. The principle was incredibly simple: a copper plate, a zinc plate, moist soil between them, nothing more. And yet, measurable electrical voltage appeared. Why? Because different metals release electrons at different rates. The moist soil acts as an electrolyte and closes the electrical circuit. In essence, The soil itself becomes part of the battery. And now, pay attention. This is where all the systems suddenly begin merging together. Rotting wood generates biological electron flow. Charcoal improves conductivity and microbial activity. Copper and zinc create galvanic voltage. 3 completely different processes. And yet, they reinforce one another. This is the point where the whole thing stops feeling like a gardening trick and starts looking like a hidden energy system. Try it yourself, because this principle can actually be tested in your own garden or even in a flower pot, not as a massive power plant, not to power an entire house, but small LED lights, sensors, or measuring devices can genuinely operate using these principles. And imagine this. You need almost nothing for the experiment. For a simple test, you only need a piece of copper pipe or a thick copper coin, a galvanized nail or a piece of zinc, moist soil, 2 wires with alligator clips, a multimeter. Here's how it works. Place the copper piece on one side of a flower pot or garden bed. Place the galvanized nail roughly 20 to 30 centimeters away. One thing is important. The soil must be moist, not dry, because the water in the soil transports dissolved minerals and makes electrical flow possible in the first place. Now connect both metals to the multimeter, and then it happens. Under good conditions, the device will actually display voltage, often between 0.5 and 1 volt. Not much, but absolutely real. The soil itself becomes part of the electrical circuit. Why does this work? Zinc releases electrons more easily than copper. This creates a voltage difference between the 2 metals. The moist soil acts as an electrolyte, exactly like the liquid inside a normal battery. And now, hold on to this. If organic material in the soil is also decomposing, such as wood, compost, or plant matter, active microbial colonies begin forming there. Some of these microorganisms actually release electrons while breaking down organic material. That means the soil is not only chemically active, it is electrically active too. Of course, we should remain realistic. Nobody is going to power an air conditioner or an electric car with this, but that is not the remarkable part. The truly fascinating thing is this, that soil can generate electrical current at all, because that completely contradicts the way most people think about dirt. For most people, soil is just dirt, something passive, something dead. But in reality, healthy soil is much more like a living network. Roots respond to electrical fields, microorganisms transport charge, minerals influence voltage, moisture connects everything together. And now we come to the question almost nobody asks. If these processes are real, why does almost nobody talk about them? The answer may be the same as with many old low-tech technologies. They are difficult to monetize. A system made from wood, microorganisms, and soil creates no monthly fees, no replacement parts, no subscriptions, no complicated infrastructure. And that is exactly why many of these ideas eventually disappeared from public awareness, not because the physics stopped working, but because modern systems became economically more attractive. Today, we constantly talk about high-tech energy, about batteries, about rare resources, about gigantic electrical grids, while at the exact same time, biological electrical processes have been happening beneath our feet for millions of years, silently, continuously, completely invisible. And perhaps that is the most fascinating part of this entire story. Nature never stopped generating energy. We simply stopped paying attention.